Chosen one, this Wednesday something finishes inside you. Not suddenly. It has been finishing for a long time. Every sleepless night, every prayer that echoed back in silence, every morning you woke up and chose to keep going, even though nothing seemed to change. All of it was building toward this single week. You felt it. A quiet fire in your chest that refused to die no matter how much the world poured cold water on it. That fire was never random. It was the heat of transformation, of something old dissolving so something new could take its shape. And this Wednesday is when the shape is complete. I want to be honest with you. The person you are about to become is not a better version of who you have been. It is someone you have never met. Someone who carries your memories but walks with an authority you have not yet experienced. Someone whose voice carries a frequency that rearranges every room they enter. The reason a higher power guided you here right now, past every distraction, past every reason to scroll away, is because this identity cannot emerge without preparation, and this message is the preparation. I am going to take you through 4 truths, each one deeper than the last, and by the time we reach the deepest one, you will not just know what is happening this Wednesday. You will know who has been waiting inside you your entire life. Stay with me. Your spirit already knows what your mind is about to discover, and I need to tell you what you will walk away with by the end of this. You will understand why your body and mind have been acting the way they have. You will receive a specific practice, I call it the Wednesday Protocol, that takes 7 minutes and aligns your entire being with who you are becoming. And before this message ends, I am going to speak something over your life that is not information. It is impartation, an activation ceremony that will stay with you long after the screen goes dark. None of this is at the beginning, all of it is at the end, so stay. What you are about to receive was arranged for you before you pressed play. Now, let me show you the first truth. And this truth starts with a confession most people will never make. You are exhausted. Not the kind of exhaustion that sleep fixes, not the kind that a weekend off can touch. This is something deeper. Something that sits in your bones and whispers to you at 2 in the morning when the house is quiet and everyone else is asleep. Picture that moment. You are lying in the dark. The ceiling above you holds no answers. Your phone glows on the nightstand, but there is no one you can call who would truly understand what you are carrying. Not because they do not care, but because what you are going through does not have words yet. You feel the gap between who you are right now and who you sense you could be, and that gap is not shrinking, it is growing. And that terrifies you. But here is what I need you to understand. Notice how your shoulders carry a weight that is not physical. Notice how your mind races forward and backward at the same time, even when your body is completely still. Notice how your spirit has felt crowded lately, even in an empty room, as if there is something inside you pressing against walls that used to feel fine. That pressure is not a problem. That pressure is a sign. You thought it was anxiety, you thought it was burnout, you thought it was your body finally giving out from years of carrying everyone else. You thought it was depression creeping in through the back door. You thought it was just getting older, just losing the spark you had when you were young. And every time you explained it away, a small voice inside you whispered, "No, that is not it either." That small voice was right. What you are experiencing is not a breakdown. It is the energy cost of metamorphosis. Your entire being, your mind, your emotions, your spiritual wiring is being restructured from the inside. And restructuring is exhausting work. Not because something is wrong with you, because something is being completed in you. Let me show you the 5 signs that confirm this. And the more of these you recognize in your own life, the closer Wednesday is for you. The first sign is a tiredness that refuses to leave. You sleep, but you wake up heavy, you rest, but it does not reach the place that needs it most. This is not physical fatigue. This is the weight of an old identity being slowly dismantled, while a new one is being assembled in the same body. Your system is running two versions of you at the same time. Of course, you are exhausted. The second sign is emotional waves that make no sense. You cry for no reason. Peace floods you for an hour, and then sadness takes its place without warning. You laugh in the morning and feel hollow by noon. This is not instability. This is your emotional body recalibrating to match a frequency it has not carried in years. The third sign is that your tolerance has changed. Conversations that used to comfort you now drain you. People you once enjoyed now feel heavy. Environments that used to feel like home now feel like cages. And you feel guilty about it because nothing about those people or places actually changed. You did. Your new frequency is rejecting what no longer matches it. And that rejection feels like loneliness, but it is actually alignment. The fourth sign is vivid dreams. Dreams so real they feel more solid than your waking life. Dreams where you are searching for something, or standing somewhere familiar but different, or meeting a version of yourself you do not recognize. Those dreams are not random, they are rehearsals. Your spirit is practicing for the life you are about to enter. And the fifth sign is a knowing you cannot explain. A deep, wordless certainty that something is about to shift. Not hope, not wishful thinking, certainty. As if a part of you has already seen what is coming and is just waiting for the rest of you to catch up. If something in your chest just confirmed what I said, if you recognize yourself in even one of those signs, type "I feel it" in the comments right now, because that recognition is not coincidence. It is confirmation. Now, what if I told you that everything you just recognized, the tiredness, the emotional waves, the change tolerance, the dreams, the knowing, what if none of it is a problem? What if all of it is the exact same thing that happens inside a cocoon right before a butterfly forms? Inside that cocoon, the caterpillar does not simply grow wings, it dissolves. Every cell breaks apart. Everything it was becomes liquid, and from that liquid, something entirely new is assembled. If you opened the cocoon in the middle of that process, you would see nothing recognizable. You would think something had gone terribly wrong, but nothing went wrong. Everything was going exactly right. That is where you are right now, inside the cocoon, in the dark, in the dissolution. And the reason it feels like everything is falling apart is because it is. Not falling apart into nothing, falling apart into something your old structure could not hold. This truth alone would rewrite how you see your entire last season. But this is only the first layer. And what I have not told you yet is what specifically is being rebuilt inside you and why it chose this week to emerge. It has to do with a frequency that researchers at some of the world's leading institutions have studied for decades. A frequency that connects to work Dr. Robert Lake compiled across his body of research, including what some privately call the youthful brain protocols. And it points to something extraordinary about how the human mind transforms during seasons exactly like the one you are in. If what I have shared so far already resonates, type "I see it now" in the comments, because this was only the beginning. But there is something deeper, and it starts with a question that might change how you see yourself permanently. When you were a child, did everything feel easier? Not just simpler because you were young, genuinely easier. You learned things faster. Ideas came to you like gifts falling from the sky. You saw patterns other kids missed. You felt things so deeply that adults around you did not know what to do with you. You were not just a child. You were a child running on a frequency that most adults have lost, And that is not a metaphor. Neuroscientists have a name for the brainwave pattern most active in childhood, the one linked to genius-level cognition, heightened intuition, rapid learning, and what researchers call the flow state, that effortless zone where everything clicks. They call them gamma waves. Gamma is not one brainwave among many. It is the conductor of the entire orchestra. When gamma is active, every other part of your brain synchronizes. Creativity spikes. Decisions become clear. Intuition sharpens. The world stops feeling heavy and starts feeling alive. And here is the part that matters. Every child is born with powerful gamma activity. Every single one. But researchers at MIT, Princeton, and several other leading universities discovered something disturbing. Around the age of 7, gamma begins to decline. Not because of disease, not because of genetics, because of the modern world. The education system that rewards obedience over originality, the overstimulation that drowns out the quiet signal, the social conditioning that teaches you to doubt the very instincts that once made you extraordinary. Scientists call this the decline effect. But here is what makes this personal for you, chosen one. You were not born with average gamma. You were born with gamma that was far beyond the norm. That is why you learned faster. That is why you felt deeper. That is why people looked at you when you were young and saw something they could not name. And because your gamma was higher than most, when the decline effect hit, you lost more than most people ever had. The distance between who you were as a child and who you are right now, that distance is not failure. It is gamma, suppressed, buried, still alive, but dormant. And what you have been feeling, that quiet fire I mentioned at the beginning, that is your gamma trying to come back online. Now, I need to show you something about the word new that will change how you understand what is happening to you this Wednesday. In the original Hebrew, the word for new is chadash, and chadash does not mean what most people think it means. It does not mean improved. It does not mean updated, like a software version. Chadash means entirely remade, like a potter who takes a vessel that was shaped wrong, crushes the clay completely, and starts again, not from scratch, from wisdom. The new you is not version 2.0 of the old you. The new you is chadash, remade from the ground up, and Wednesday is the day the potter finishes his work. Before this continues, I want to ask you something gently. If what I have shared so far has brought even a small moment of clarity, if it helped name something you have been feeling but could not explain, gently press the like. So this message reaches someone else who is lying awake tonight, wondering why everything feels different. Let me tell you about a man in ancient history who lived through exactly what you are living through. Right now, his name was Joseph. When Joseph was young, he carried a frequency so strong that it frightened the people around him. He saw things others could not see. He dreamed dreams that seemed impossible. And instead of celebrating his gift, the people closest to him threw him into a pit. For years, Joseph sat in darkness, prison, silence, forgotten by everyone who had promised to remember him. And during those years, if you had looked at his life from the outside, you would have said that his potential was wasted, that God had made a mistake, that the boy with the extraordinary vision was gone forever. But Joseph did not lose his frequency in that prison. His frequency was being refined in that prison. Every day in the dark was a day the old Joseph dissolved, and the new Joseph, the Chadash Joseph, was being assembled from the inside. He did not become powerful in the palace. He became powerful in the prison. The palace just revealed what the prison had built. This new season you are stepping into is not empty, chosen one. It is full of preparation. It is full of transformation. It is full of divine activity that you have been too close to the ground to see. And remember what I told you about the chrysalis? The dissolution you felt, the sense that everything was falling apart without explanation, that was not destruction, that was rearrangement. Your neural pathways are, literally, restructuring to receive a frequency they have not carried since you were a child. The cocoon was never meant to be comfortable. It was meant to be temporary. Let me tell you about a woman I once spoke with. She had tried everything: meditation retreats, sound healing sessions, every frequency track she could find online. And nothing shifted. Not really. She told me it was like standing outside a locked door, knowing the room on the other side held everything she had been praying for, but no key fit. Then something changed. She did not change her effort. She changed her approach entirely. Instead of trying to shift her brain from the inside, she encountered a method that recalibrated it from the outside. 7 minutes. That was all it took for the first crack to appear. Within 2 weeks, she said, the world looked different. Not because the world changed, because the frequency through which she was seeing it changed. I am going to come back to that, because there is a specific tool behind what happened to her, and I will share it with you later in this message. But first, there is something I need to teach you, a practice I call the Wednesday Protocol. 3 steps, 7 minutes, and it will align your mind with the frequency of who you are becoming. I will walk you through it fully before this message ends. But before I show you how it works, you need to understand why your mind has been resisting alignment in the first place. Because the reason your frequency was suppressed was not entirely accidental. Scientists discovered that certain audio frequencies can reactivate gamma from the outside, bypassing all the internal resistance that years of conditioning built up. A 7-minute recalibration that does not require meditation, does not require mantras, does not require years of practice. Some of the earliest users, the ones who went deepest into this research, they mention something called neuroactive in certain circles, a chapter beyond the initial awakening. But that is a conversation for another time. What matters right now is the starting point. And the starting point is understanding that your gamma was not destroyed. It was buried. And what is buried can be unearthed. But there is something I have not told you yet. Something that might make you uncomfortable. Because the reason your original frequency was suppressed, the real reason, goes deeper than modern life and education systems. And what I am about to show you next might make you angry. But that anger is fuel. And you are going to need it for what comes after. Here is the truth that might sting. The system did play a role. Modern life did suppress your frequency, but that is not the full story. Because somewhere along the way, a part of you cooperated with the suppression, not on purpose, not because you are weak, but because the old identity, the smaller version of you, felt safer than the unknown. Think about it honestly. There is a version of you that learned very early how to survive by staying quiet, by not asking for too much, by bending yourself into shapes that other people approved of. And that version kept you alive. It got you through seasons that could have destroyed you. It taught you how to smile when you were breaking, how to hold everything together with invisible hands, how to make yourself small enough that no one would feel threatened by your light. But here is what no one tells you. That survival version was never supposed to be permanent. It was a cast on a broken bone. The cast protects you while you heal. But if you never take it off, the very thing that saved you becomes the thing that limits you. And right now, you are walking around in a cast that healed a long time ago. Your bone is strong, your fracture is gone, but the cast is still there, and you have worn it so long that you forgot it is not part of your body. The obstacle between you and the person you are becoming this Wednesday is not the world. It is the old version of you that is still standing guard over a wound that already closed. And underneath that old identity, there is a belief. It is quiet. It does not announce itself. It just sits there like a stone at the bottom of a river, invisible but affecting every current above it. And the belief is this: I am not worthy of who I could become. You might not say those words out loud. You might not even think them consciously, but they show up in everything. They show up when opportunity knocks and you hesitate. They show up when someone sees your gift and you deflect the compliment. They show up when you are one step away from breakthrough and you suddenly find a reason to pull back, to play it safe, to stay where you are, because at least here you know the rules. That is not caution. That is unworthiness wearing a mask. And listen to me carefully. That unworthiness was never your truth. It was a survival mechanism. It kept you small enough to avoid the pain of being seen. Because somewhere in your past, being seen meant being hurt. Being visible meant being targeted. So your mind learned a lesson it was never supposed to keep, that shrinking is safer than shining. But that lesson does not apply anymore. The season that taught you that lesson is over. And the identity that was built around that lesson has served its purpose. It is time to release it. So, I want to say something over you right now, and I need you to receive these words, not as suggestions, but as permissions spoken over your life. You are allowed to release the person everyone expected you to be. You are allowed to disappoint people who only loved the version of you that served them. You are allowed to grieve who you were, without going back to who you were. You are allowed to be terrified of the new and still walk toward it. You are allowed to become someone that no one in your family has ever been. You are allowed to take up space without apologizing for the room you fill. And you do not owe anyone an explanation for becoming who you were always designed to be. If your spirit just confirmed those words, if something inside you softened or opened while I was speaking, type I receive in the comments to seal these permissions over your life. Now, I need you to do something, not with your body, with your mind. I want you to picture the old version of you, the one who played small, the one who apologized for existing, the one who was afraid to want more because wanting felt dangerous. See that version clearly, and instead of pushing them away, instead of being angry at them for holding you back, I want you to thank them, because they kept you alive. They carried you through seasons you were not supposed to survive. And now, gently, with love, I want you to let them go. In your mind, picture yourself placing your hand on their shoulder and say to them, in the quiet of your heart, thank you. You did your job, but I do not need you to protect me anymore. And now, release. Release the survival identity. Release the ceiling you built over your own potential because you were afraid of how high you might go. Release the fear of being seen. Release the belief that says, you are not ready. Release the story that told you the best of your life already happened. Release the weight of other people's opinions that you have been carrying like stones in your pockets. Release it all. If you are willing to let go right now, type I release in the comments. Say it out loud if you can. Let the words leave your mouth and take the weight with them. The cocoon is cracking now, chosen one. Not because someone is pulling it apart from the outside, because you are pressing against it from the inside. And that pressure you have been feeling, that restless, almost unbearable tension in your chest, that was never pain. That was power. Power that could no longer be contained by the old structure. Let me tell you a story. 7 months ago, a chosen one I know received the worst news of his career. A contract he had spent 2 years building was cancelled in a single phone call. No warning, no explanation, just gone. And everything that depended on that contract, his plans, his stability, his sense of who he was in the world, collapsed with it. Most people would have panicked. Most people would have scrambled for the next thing, but he did something different. He entered what he called his silent season. He stopped chasing. He deleted every distraction. He woke up every morning at 5 and sat in complete stillness for 40 days. Not because he was giving up, because he was letting the old version of himself finish dying so the new one could fully arrive. On day 33, a company he had never contacted, never heard of, never sent a resume to, called him. The offer was 3 times the value of what he had lost. 3 times. A position he would not have even known to apply for because the old version of him did not think that big. He told me something I will never forget. He said, "The old version of me would have begged for the old contract back." The new version attracted something the old me could not have even imagined. He became the new version in silence before the world ever saw it in public. And those who have walked that path, the ones who went all the way into the transformation, they speak of something they call destiny's embrace. A moment when the universe wraps itself around your new identity and refuses to let go. But that moment only comes after the old identity is fully released. You went in exhausted, and you are coming out electric. You went in questioning, and you are coming out certain. You went in invisible, and you are coming out undeniable. You went in surviving, and you are coming out sovereign. You went in as the caterpillar, and you are coming out with wings. Stay with me, because before this message ends, I am going to speak something over your life. Not a prayer, an activation. A commissioning into the identity that has been waiting for you since before you were born. And your spirit needs to be ready to receive it. Now, let me show you who you really are. Everything I have shared until now, the exhaustion that was really metamorphosis, the frequency that was really gamma waking up, the obstacle that was really an old identity you needed to release, all of it was pointing here. All of it was preparation for this single moment. Remember when I told you at the very beginning that you are not who you think you are? This is what I meant. You are not the tired one. You are not the one who fell behind. You are not the one who peaked too early, or dreamed too big, or wanted too much. Those were stories the old identity told you to keep you from seeing what was underneath. Here is who you actually are. You are the one who walks into dark rooms and something shifts before you even open your mouth. Not because of what you say, because of what you carry. There is a light in you that does not come from effort, it comes from origin. You were built to illuminate spaces that have forgotten what clarity looks like. And every time you doubted yourself, every time you dimmed your own light to make someone else comfortable, the room got darker. Not just for you, for everyone in it. You are the one who breaks cycles. Patterns that have run through your family for generations, habits of silence, of shame, of settling, of accepting less than what the spirit knows is possible. Those patterns hit a wall when they reach you. They do not pass through, not because you are aggressive, because you are awake, and what is awake cannot pretend to sleep. You are the one who carries truth in a world that has grown comfortable with lies. Not because you want to be different, because you cannot be anything else. You feel the lie before it finishes forming in someone's mouth. You sense the gap between what people say and what they mean. And it exhausts you, yes. But that exhaustion is not weakness. It is the cost of integrity in a dishonest world. You are the one who goes first, into the unknown, into the territory that has no map, into the conversation no one else will start, into the decision that everyone else is too afraid to make. You do not go first because you are not afraid. You go first because you understand that someone has to, and the fire inside you will not let you wait for permission, and you are the voice, the one who speaks what others feel but cannot say, the one whose words land like seeds in soil that has been waiting for rain. When you speak, something moves, not because of volume, because of frequency. You look at the broken world and you do not turn away, and that is who you were always meant to be. You carry the weight of truth in rooms full of noise, and that is who emerges this Wednesday. You go first so that others can follow, and that is who the world has been waiting for. You break what was never supposed to continue, and that is the identity sealed over you right now. And I hear a voice speaking over you in this very moment. I hear the Spirit saying, I did not break you down to leave you broken. I broke you down to rebuild you without the parts that were never yours. What rises on Wednesday is what I intended from the beginning. Before the world shaped you, before the system dimmed you, before the pain taught you to hide, there was a blueprint, and the blueprint is still intact. What rises now is not a repaired version of you. It is the original, the one I designed before anyone else got their hands on you. Wednesday is the day the shell can no longer hold what you have become. The chrysalis was never your home, chosen one. It was your workshop, and the work is finished. Now, take a breath with me, because what I am about to share is the bridge between knowing who you are and actually walking in it. Earlier in this message, I mentioned something about a frequency, a 7-minute recalibration that scientists found can reactivate what was suppressed. I told you I would come back to it. This is that moment. You, as a chosen one, were born with gamma waves far stronger than most. That is why the loss hit harder. That is why the decline effect stole more from you than from everyone around you. And that is why the tool I am about to describe was not designed for the general public. It was designed for people like you. People who once carried extraordinary capacity and want it restored. There was a man, 51 years old, who lost his job nearly 2 years before he found this. He was not incompetent. He was brilliant, but his mind had become foggy. He described it as walking into interviews with his brain wrapped in cotton. The words would not come. The sharpness that once defined him was gone. After 11 days of using what I am about to describe, he received a job offer. Not just any offer, a position better than the one he had lost. And, he said, the change was not in his resume. The change was in his head. Dr. Robert Lake, a neuroscientist with over 34 years of research, the same mind behind the youthful brain protocols and several other groundbreaking studies, compressed decades of brain entrainment technology into a single 7-minute audio track. You put on headphones, you close your eyes, and in 7 minutes, your gamma begins to reactivate. Not through meditation, not through mantras, not through willpower, through direct frequency recalibration from the outside. Now I know what you might be thinking. You have tried things before. You have bought programs that promised transformation and delivered nothing, and that doubt is not a flaw. It is a sign of intelligence. It means you have been disappointed enough times to stop trusting easily. But here is the difference. Everything you tried before, the meditation apps, the sound healing tracks, the affirmation recordings, all of those asked your brain to change itself from the inside. That is like asking a broken radio to fix its own signal. Brain entrainment is a completely different mechanism. It delivers the correct frequency directly to your neural pathways from the outside. That is not a promise. That is measurable, repeatable, documented in labs at MIT and Princeton. I would never disrespect your financial situation. I know that $39 is a real decision for many people, and I will never minimize that. So let me put it in context, not to pressure you, but to respect you enough to give you the full picture. Traditional biofeedback therapy that targets gamma reactivation costs $300 per session. Home neurofeedback equipment runs around $7,000. Dr. Lake took the same core technology and compressed it into an audio file that costs $49. But for those watching this message, he made it available for $39. Not because it is a sale, because his mission was never about profit, it was about access. Reaching the people who actually need this, not just the people who can afford a $7,000 machine, and for that $39, you receive the Genius Song audio track itself, plus 4 additional tools. An audio program designed to help children focus and build confidence. The original book that inspired the film, The Secret, a book about real financial principles that sells for $20 on its own. A guided visualization that walks you through your ideal life in 4 areas: finances, love, health, and happiness. And an infographic of the 5 most important daily habits for building the future you want. All of that, plus a complete money-back guarantee. If you try it and feel nothing, you get every cent back. No conditions. No time pressure. Every day your gamma stays dormant is a day your prayers feel like they are bouncing off a brass ceiling. A day your decisions stay clouded. A day the person you are supposed to become waits on the other side of a door you have not yet opened. The future version of you, the one we just spoke about, the light bearer, the cycle breaker, the one whose voice shifts rooms, that version is looking back at this exact moment as the turning point. The decision does not need to be perfect. It just needs to be made. Now, I need to warn you about something important. There are counterfeit websites and fake products using the name of what I just described. They do not contain the real brain entrainment technology. They are just ordinary audio tracks dressed up to look like the real thing. The only way to receive the authentic version, with the full technology, all 4 bonuses, and the money-back guarantee, is through the link in the description below this message and in the pinned comment. Do not search for it on Amazon or Spotify or anywhere else. Those are not the real thing. The link below is the only path to the genuine tool. If your spirit resonates with what I just shared, if something inside you confirmed that this is the next step, you will find everything, the Genius Song, the bonuses, the guarantee, in the description and the pinned comment. Only if you feel led. Now, take a breath. The deepest part of this message is still ahead. What I am about to do is not teaching, it is activation. And your spirit needs to be open to receive it. Before we enter the closing, I want to make sure you leave today equipped with something practical. Something you can use this week, starting right now. I promised you a framework earlier. I called it the Wednesday Protocol. This is it. It has 3 steps. And, together, they take 7 minutes. The first step is called the clearing. For 2 minutes, wherever you are, go completely silent. No phone, no music, no input of any kind. Just you and the stillness. What you are doing in those 2 minutes is letting the old frequency drain. Think of it like emptying a cup that has been filled with everyone else's noise so it can be filled with your own signal again. 2 minutes of nothing. That is where alignment begins. The second step is called the declaration. For 3 minutes, you speak the identity truths we uncovered today over yourself. Out loud if you can, even a whisper works. Say, I am the light bearer. I am the cycle breaker. I am the truth carrier. I am the pioneer. I am the voice. Say them slowly. Say them like you mean them. Because your voice carries frequency, and when you declare who you are out loud, your mind begins to reorganize around those words. 3 minutes, that is all. The third step is called the first step. In the final 2 minutes, Choose one action aligned with your new identity that you will complete before Wednesday ends. Not a big action, a true one. It might be a conversation you have been avoiding, a boundary you need to set, a decision you have been postponing. One real step. Because identity does not solidify in theory, it solidifies in motion. The clearing, the declaration, the first step. 7 minutes. And you are not doing this to become the new you. You are doing this to acknowledge that the new you has already been built. Wednesday is not construction day. It is unveiling day. And there is one more tool I want to leave with you. I call it the resonance audit. It takes 30 seconds. Right now in your mind, name 3 things in your life that drain you. People, habits, environments, anything that leaves you feeling emptier after contact. Now name 3 things that restore you. Things that make your chest feel lighter, your mind clearer, your spirit more alive. This week, cut the drains, double the restorers, not someday, this week. Because the person you are becoming cannot afford to keep feeding what was killing the person you were. Now, here is where everything changes. In your mind, I want you to stand in front of a mirror. Not a real mirror. A mirror that exists only in the space between your spirit and your imagination. And this mirror does not reflect who you were yesterday. This mirror reflects the person who walks out of Wednesday. Look at their eyes. They are your eyes. But there is something different about them. They are clear. They are settled. They carry the weight of purpose without being crushed by it. Look at how they stand. There is no apology in their posture. There is no shrinking. There is a quiet, unshakable certainty that comes from knowing exactly who they are. This is not imagination. This is recognition. This is your spirit showing you what your mind has not yet accepted. Feel the shift settle into your chest. Feel the old weight begin to lift. Not all at once, but enough to know something just moved. This is not a thought exercise. This is an alignment. And what just aligned inside you cannot be undone. And now, chosen one, we enter the sacred space. I want to begin by saying thank you, not to you, but for you. Thank you to the power that held you through every season that brought you here. Thank you for the 2 a.m. silences that felt unbearable, but were actually building your capacity for stillness. Thank you for the unanswered prayers that protected you from smaller things your old self was begging for. Thank you for the closed doors that felt like rejection, but were actually redirection towards something your mind was not yet big enough to imagine. You are seen. Every weight you have carried when no one was watching, every tear that fell in rooms where no one else was present, every moment you chose to keep going when quitting made more sense, every time you showed up faithfully to a life that gave you no evidence that things would change, all of it was witnessed, none of it was wasted. And the one who watched it all is the same one who arranged for you to be here in this moment. Now it is time to let go. Release the version of you that needed permission to shine. Release the version that measured its worth by other people's applause. Release the version that apologized for taking up space in a world that desperately needed its light. Release the ceiling you accepted because you were too tired to keep reaching. Release the fear of being seen fully. Release the story that said the best of your life was already behind you. Release every chain made of other people's opinions that you have been wearing like jewelry. If you are ready to step into the identity that has been waiting for you, type "I am ready" in the comments. Declare it, not as a hope, as a fact. Type it with everything in you. And now I speak this over your life. I hear the Spirit saying, step forward now, not when you feel ready, not when the fear subsides, not when every question has an answer. Now, because the fear will always be there, but so will I. and where I am sending you, no weapon formed against you will prosper. No scheme designed against you will succeed. No voice raised to diminish you will outlast the authority I have placed inside you. You are stepping forward not because you are unafraid, but because the one who walks with you is greater than anything that stands against you. I activate every gift that has been dormant. I activate every connection that has been delayed. I activate every door that remained locked, not because it was not yours, but because you were not yet ready to walk through it. The preparation is complete. The key has turned. I place a covering over this new identity. I shield it from the self-sabotage that will try to pull you back in the first 72 hours. I guard it from the comparison that will whisper other people's timelines into your ear. I protect what is rising in you from premature exposure, because not everyone needs to see what is being built. Some things grow best in sacred silence before they are revealed in the open. You are the light bearer, and the rooms you enter will never be the same. You are the cycle breaker, and what ends with you liberates every generation that comes after you. You are the truth carrier, and you will never again apologize for the clarity you bring into confused spaces. You are the pioneer, and the path you carve will become the road that others walk. You are the voice, and when you speak, the atmosphere itself rearranges. You are no longer the caterpillar who entered the cocoon. You are what was always hidden inside the caterpillar. And this Wednesday, the world meets you for the first time. Do not say, Amen yet. I want you to sit in this frequency for a moment. Let it settle into your bones. Let it anchor itself so deeply that when Wednesday comes and the old doubts try to knock on your door, your spirit will not even flinch. It is done. It is sealed. We receive it, and so it is. Amen. You are not alone in this. Right now, all across the world, chosen ones are experiencing this same shift. This same cracking of the cocoon, this same emergence. You are part of something much larger than one video, much larger than one Wednesday. You are part of a wave, and the wave does not stop. One more thing. The person you were when you pressed play on this message is not the person sitting here right now. Something moved. You felt it. It was not information entering your mind. It was identity entering your spirit. Carry this into Wednesday. Not as hope, as fact. If this message brought clarity where there was confusion, if it brought peace where there was chaos, if it brought confirmation to something you have been sensing but could not name, let your like be your amen, without words. If this message found you at exactly the right moment, there are more words being prepared for your next season. Stay connected so they can reach you when the time is right. For those who felt drawn to what I shared about the frequency recalibration, the 7-minute audio tool that reactivates what was dormant, you will find everything in the description and the pinned comment, only if your spirit confirms. And one last thing. If someone came to mind while you were listening, someone who has been unusually quiet lately, someone who looks fine on the outside, but you know something deeper is shifting inside them, someone who has been carrying a weight they cannot explain to anyone, someone who has been pulling away without understanding why, send this to them. Text it, email it, however you need to get it to them. Because this might be the exact confirmation their spirit has been waiting for. This might be the message that helps them understand that what they are going through is not punishment, it is preparation. Your share might be the moment they finally realize they are not losing themselves, they are becoming themselves. Walk gently into Wednesday, chosen one. What rises from here will be more beautiful than anything the old version of you could have imagined. You are not leaving a message, you are leaving a season, and the one ahead of you has your name written all over it.